Hello, and welcome to Unusual Facts 101, the channel where we explore the fascinating facts and mysteries of the world. Today, we are going to learn about the ancient Mayan ball game, a sport that was more than just a game for the people of Mesoamerica. The Mayan ball game was played for over 3,000 years, from around 1500 BC to the Spanish conquest in the 16th century. It was not only a popular form of entertainment and recreation, but also a ritual and symbolic activity that reflected the Mayan worldview and cosmology. The game involved two teams of players who tried to hit a solid rubber ball with their hips, forearms, or other body parts across a stone court. The court was shaped like a capital I, with slanted side walls and sometimes stone rings or goals. The ball was about the size of a volleyball, but much heavier and harder, weighing up to 9 pounds. The players wore protective gear, such as leather belts, pads, and helmets, to avoid injuries from the ball and the stone surfaces. The game had different rules and variations in different regions and times, but it was often associated with the conflict between the forces of darkness and light, life and death, and the underworld and the sky. The ball represented the sun, the moon, or the stars, and the movement of the ball across the court symbolized the celestial cycles and the balance of nature. The game also had a connection to the Mayan mythology and history, as it reenacted the heroic deeds of the gods and the ancestors. Some versions of the game involved human sacrifice of the losers or the winners, depending on the interpretation of the Mayan mythology. For example, in the Popol Vuh, the sacred book of the Quiche Maya, the twin heroes Hunahpu and Xbalanque descended to the underworld and defeated the lords of death in a ball game. They then resurrected their father, who had been sacrificed by the underworld rulers, and ascended to the sky as the sun and the moon. In some cases, the sacrifice players were considered honored and privileged, as they joined the gods in the afterlife. The game was also played for recreation and entertainment by children and adults, and it had social and political functions as well. The game was a way of settling disputes, forging alliances, displaying skills, and celebrating events. The game was often accompanied by music, dancing, gambling, and spectators who cheered and jeered the players. The game was not only played by the Maya, but also by other Mesoamerican cultures, such as the Aztecs, the Olmecs, the Zapotecs, and the Toltecs. The game has a modern descendant called ulama, which is still played today in some parts of Mexico. Ulama is a team sport that uses a smaller and softer ball, and it has less ritual and symbolic significance than the ancient game. The ancient Mayan ball game is a fascinating example of how a sport can reflect the culture, beliefs, and values of a civilization. It shows us how the Maya viewed the world and their place in it, and how they expressed their creativity, spirituality, and identity through a game. The game also reveals the complexity and diversity of the Mesoamerican cultures, and their legacy and influence on the modern world.